I would like to share with you a few facts about Total Literacy Campaign, which was undertaken in 1988 under the aegis of National Literacy Mission. This text is in two parts, and I would like to begin with part 1 and begin with conceptualizing literacy. Literacy is a tool, a medium, an entry point and not an end. It is not alphabetization. It goes beyond 3 R's, that is reading, writing and arithmetic. Alphabets no doubt form words, words form sentences and sentences form a lesson. Every lesson is to be well visualized and illustrated. Every lesson has a theme which should be of interest and relevance to the learner. As we learn, we proceed from the known to the unknown. Literacy is an essential tool of learning, communication, participation, information, liberation, empowerment and conscientization. Through literacy, we learn a host of things such as about our home, family, community, society and nation, nature, ecology, flora and fauna, history of our freedom struggle, making of great women and men, the story of their valor and sacrifice, our rights and obligations to fellow beings, community, society and the nation, multiple skills such as life skill, communication skill, survival skill, leadership skill, managerial, entrepreneurial and supervisory skills. Through literacy, we communicate with each other. Such communication is vital for a decent civilized existence and survival of an orderly human society. Communication could be both oral and written. Oral literacy, to make sense, needs to be developed into written words or print medium of communication. This is how language emerges as an important vehicle of communication. Through a spoken language, we communicate what we already know, what we learn on a day-to-day basis, how to harness the outcome of learning to make life easier, better, higher and nobler. Through literacy, we participate in the activities of our learning center, which is both basic literacy and continuing education, in the joy and sorrow of our fellow learners and those of our literacy volunteer teacher, in the affairs of the family, community, society and nation. Internal democracy and tolerance of diversity and dissent is the cornerstone of a participatory process. Through literacy, we get better informed about what is happening around us, about our constitution, about laws relevant to our lives, about various flagship programs of our government such as Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Andolan, Balika Samruddhi Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, Atal Pension Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Sinchai Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Make in India and Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Through literacy, we liberate ourselves from fads, dogmas, make-beliefs, mindsets, obscurantist ideas and practices, rancor, jealousy, intolerance, mindless hatred and violence. Simultaneously, through literacy, we develop a rational, secular and scientific temper. We empower ourselves so that we take the right decisions in right time and right manner. Confronted with multiple alternatives, we choose the right alternative which is in our best interest. We develop the capacity to raise our voice against injustice and demand our rights and entitlements. Through literacy, we conscientize ourselves so that we are made aware of our strengths and weaknesses. We are made aware of the strengths and weaknesses of the forces around us which influence our lives. We are able to critically reflect on the existential reality of the situation in which we are placed. We are made aware of the generative sources of disadvantage such as caste related, sex related and employment related. We acquire the wherewithal to grapple with these disadvantages and eventually overcome them. Now, the outcomes of literacy learning are woven in the following manner. These outcomes are closely interrelated. One outcome leads to the other. One complements and supplements the other. Learners get together to learn, think, plan, discuss and act. Such participation leads to getting informed better. Getting better informed leads to better communication, better sharing and better partnership. It promotes the ability to articulate one's concerns better. Once the learners have been made better aware and critically conscious of the relative merits and demerits of issues and alternatives to deal with the issues, they would only do what is in their best interest, such as social, economic and political. The learner should be able to acquire skills with which they can promote these interests. Now I come to total literacy campaigns. What is a literacy campaign? A campaign for total literacy rests on the following premises. It is sequential or step by step approach. हिंदी में जिसको कहते हैं चरणों से चरण चलो. It is backed by meticulous planning. There is a political will, commitment and determination behind every such campaign. Social mobilization, arousing and awakening social conscience of all sections of the society. Demand generation first and delivery mechanism next. Demand can be generated through better social communication. Better social communication would rest on songs, slogans, skits, role plays, nukkad nataks and performances on the stage by members of cultural troupes. The whole exercise is directed to carry conviction to all potential learners that it is important for them to learn and be literate, and second, it is also intended to instill better motivation and confidence among them that they can learn despite age and disability. They can apply the benefits of learning to their day-to-day lives. Government as a whole remains a catalyst, a promoter and facilitator of the campaign. Initiatives of government are supplemented and complemented by a confluence of creative forces and energies. Every such campaign has to be area specific, time bound, cost effective, result oriented and volunteer based. I would now like to share with you the historical backdrop behind the literacy campaigns. Bapu, the father of the nation, was deeply concerned in the latter half of 30s when India had an abysmally low rate of literacy, around 10%. He had therefore observed with a lot of anguish, I quote, "It is a matter of sin and shame that millions of my countrymen continue to remain unlettered. We have to liberate them." I unquote. Bapu's call spurred the political leadership of the day to action in 6 provinces where popular ministries had been formed under the Government of India Act of 1935 to go in for adoption of a campaign approach for literacy. These were small, scattered and isolated efforts with a limited effect. With the onset of Second World War in September 1939, they completely died down. There were however several silver linings, such as Dr. Syed Mahmood in Bihar, B.G. Kher and J.P. Nayak in the city of Bombay, Sar M. Viseswaraya in Mysore, Wealthy Fisher in UP, Dr. Mohan Singh Mehta or Bhai Sahab in Rajasthan, Dr. Frank Laubach in Moga in Punjab had assumed leadership of the program on their shoulders to make the campaigns for literacy a success in the respective areas. The Granthsala movement in Kerala and village library movement in several parts of the country had provided the much needed support to post literacy and continuing education. In early 50s, literacy was sought to be woven in the community development and national extension service. A plethora of programs emerged therefrom, such as Gram Shikshan Mohim, Satara in Maharashtra, Social Education Program, Farmers Functional Literacy Project, Non-Formal Education Program for the Youth, Polyvalent Adult Education Program through Shramik Vidyapits numbering 40, Functional Literacy for Adult Women or FLAW. These however were sector specific with programs which were limited in scope, coverage and impact. The National Adult Education Program was launched on 2nd October 78 by then Prime Minister of India Morarji Bhai Desai. It remained on the ground for 7 years, that is 1978 to 85. 100 million unlettered adults were to be brought within the ambit of the program by 1983-84. The program had 3 components, namely literacy and numeracy, functionality and awareness. It was recognized that the level of literacy and numeracy has to be sufficiently high if it is to contribute to the life and work of learners. Functionality was for improvement of vocational skills and for more productive use of time. Awareness implied that a poor man who is made conscious of a number of things relevant to his life through literacy can shape his own destiny through interlinking learning, reflection and action. Between 1978 and 85, NIP was reviewed by Institutes of Social Science Research numbering 7 and 56 reports were submitted to the Government of India, Department of Education. Additionally, NIP Review Committee 1979, which was headed by Professor D.S. Kothari, also submitted its report to Department of Education, Government of India in April 1980. NLM was initially conceptualized as a technology mission for eradication of illiteracy in 1985-86 and was based on a thorough analysis of the strengths and weaknesses of NIP. It was formally launched on 5th May 1988 by then PM Rajiv Gandhi. Technology in this context implied harnessing the findings of scientific and technological research by designing improved blackboard, roller board, improved slate and lead pencil, dustless chalk, improved Petromax light, smokeless lantern, inexpensive adult literacy primers printed in bold and bright letters. The National Literacy Mission had an ambitious target of making 30 million unlettered adults functionally literate by 1990 and an additional 50 million by 1995. The mission identified laboratories under the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Government of India, and other institutions dedicated to scientific and technological research to design and patent the above products. A subcommittee of National Literacy Mission Authority under the chairmanship of Additional DG, Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Professor Ram Iyengar, was set up to establish a collaborative relationship with these institutions to oversee the process of designing, patenting and manufacturing the desired quality products. These efforts, however, did not produce the desired result. The success of the campaign approach launched by Kerala Shastra Sahitya Parishad, a non-governmental organization of repute and standing to protect the ecological balance in Silent Valley in Palakkad district of the state, paved the way for adoption of a similar approach for literacy. Intensive interaction of then DG NLMA and his colleagues with two distinguished personalities of the day from Kerala Shastra Sahitya Parishad, that is Sri K.R. Rajan, Collector Ernakulam, and Dr. M.P. Parameswaran, a nuclear scientist turned activist, led to two important realizations. These were: first, government's outreach is limited as also resources. Government cannot take everything on its shoulders. Government initiatives can, however, be supplemented and complemented by NGOs who are committed to social action and are non-political or apolitical in character. They work and live with the people. They have the pulse of the people on their fingers. Additionally, they have the flexibility of structure and operations. They are not hamstrung by bureaucratic rigidity or inflexibility. Second, no delivery mechanism will be meaningful without there being a natural and spontaneous demand for the product, in this case literacy. No such demand can be generated without there being a groundswell. There can be no groundswell without there being a social mobilization. Such social mobilization has necessarily to rest on social communication, and social communication takes place through multiple outlets such as print, electronic, folk, song, slogans, skits, role plays, nukkad nataks, simulation exercises and performances on the stage. Such outlets can be created through thinkers, writers and artists who are capable of composing, singing and performing on the stage. A proposal for formation of a government sponsored NGO was approved by government in MHRD in August 1989, when government realized in all humility that government cannot take on its shoulders the responsibility for social mobilization. This is how Bharat Gyan Vigyan Samiti or BGVS was born, with Dr. Malcolm S. Adisesaya, former Deputy Director General UNESCO, former Vice Chancellor Madras University and founder Madras University of Development Studies as President, and a number of creative thinkers, writers, artists, scientists, technologists and educational activists as members. I would now like to share with you the international experiences from which we derived lot of inspiration and strength before we could embark on campaigns for total literacy. A mass campaign for total literacy is essentially a drive for social mobilization. It means arousing the social conscience of people in all walks of life, irrespective of rank, status, calling, profession, and spurring them to instant social action. We imbibed and assimilated this strategy from countries like Cuba 1959-61, Myanmar 1969-74, Vietnam 1945-77, Ethiopia 1974-79, Nicaragua 1979-80. All these countries had a colonial past like ours. Colonialism and imperialism for decades had sapped the energy and vitality of the native population. In these countries there was first a revolution against political dictatorship and against tyranny, injustice and oppression associated therewith. A campaign for literacy was an offshoot of that revolution, such as it was facilitated by a revolution. The revolution which shook the political system brought in its wake a unique resolve of the people to put an end to bankruptcy of the nation caused by endemic poverty, illiteracy and backwardness, and bring about a national regeneration. There was a tremendous sense of pride, patriotism and ideological commitment to adopt mass campaign as a strategy for total literacy in these countries. The campaign provided an outlet for tapping the cultural energy and creativity of people. It injected a cohesive force to force the diffused and uncoordinated currents and cross currents of history to impart it a new momentum and direction. I would now like to share with you the birth of Bharat Gyan Vigyan Jatha. The birth of BGVS was a very timely, appropriate and splendid initiative of Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India. On the same pattern as Bharat Jan Vigyan Jatha, Caravan for Mass Popularization of Science, undertaken in August 1987 at Bhopal, which was spearheaded by Professor Yashpal, who is unfortunately no more, and Dr. M.P. Parameswaran, Bharat Gyan Vigyan Jatha conceptualized and executed a similar countrywide caravan of teachers, students, women and youth called Bharat Gyan Vigyan Jatha between 2nd October 1990 to 14th November 1990 with the following objectives. First, spread the message of literacy across the length and breadth of the country. Second, dispel doubts, misgivings, mindsets about functional literacy. Third, create a groundswell as well as positive demand for literacy. The caravan covered 100,000 villages in 300 out of 460 districts at that point of time and achieved the following important objects. Literacy was put at the center stage. In other words, the primacy and centrality of literacy was recognized at all levels. There was a churning of critical consciousness of both the literate and the unlettered adult. They were motivated to own the campaign, participate in the campaign and contribute to the success of the campaign. 35 state level, 500 district level and 600,000 local level organizations emerged as a result of Bharat Gyan Vigyan Jatha. I would now like to share with you TLC Ernakulam, which was the trend and pace setter for launching campaigns for total literacy across the length and breadth of the country in selected districts and states. TLC Ernakulam is known as Lead Kindly Light, which is a line from Bible, was conceptualized by K.R. Rajan, Collector Ernakulam, approved by Executive Committee of the National Literacy Mission Authority in September 1988 and was formally launched on 26 January 1989 by then CM E.K. Nayanar. It was a joint initiative of Kerala Shastra Sahitya Parishad and district administration. The TLC was well structured, it was meticulously planned and coordinated, it was professionally executed and very ably documented. It had a 3-tier structure which comprised government network headed by the collector, project office network with a project office and other full-time functionaries, KSSP People's Network with People's Committees constituted for each of the 860 GP wards, 152 municipal wards and 50 corporation wards. Some of the striking features of TLC Ernakulam experiment were: the survey was conducted as a festival, it became a powerful tool of environment building, it helped in mobilization of unlettered persons and literate volunteers, 70% of the volunteer teachers were women, they had a lot of commonality in terms of socio-cultural background with that of the learners. Soon after learning had commenced, it was found that 100 and 1000 plus learners had refractive errors. This had to be corrected through testing of their eyes, provision of spectacles on a massive scale. This by itself involved a massive social mobilization of resources, otherwise no learning would have been possible. TLC Ernakulam was also a Health for All campaign characterized by 100% immunization of all pregnant women and children. The pedagogy of teaching learning centered around dialogue, discussion, analysis, reflection, questioning between the literacy volunteer teacher and learners, taking a cue from Paulo Freire, the outstanding adult educator and revolutionary from Brazil. In purely qualitative terms, 1,61,091 potential learners in 5 to 60 age group were enrolled in TLC. At the end of the TLC in October 1989, 96.16% of the total population of 25 lakh in 5 to 6 age group of the district became fully functionally literate. In qualitative terms, the gains were the following. TLC exposed over 1.5 lakh learners to the wider world of knowledge, information, communication, modernization and innovation. Ernakulam district emerged as the first biotechnology district, first health for all district, first houses for all district, first employment for all district and first beggar free district in the country. The district was declared as first fully literate district in the country on 4th February 1990 by then Prime Minister of India VP Singh at Ernakulam. On the same day and venue, a total literacy campaign for remaining 13 districts of Kerala was also launched. These districts adopted the same strategy as TLC Ernakulam for running a year-old campaign, that is April 90 to March 1991. It came to a successful close on 18th April 91 when at Calicut the state of Kerala was declared as fully literate at an impressive ceremony graced by Bhisham Sahani, a distinguished author, playwright, academic actor and social activist, along with a large number of other creative thinkers, writers, artists, social and educational activists. In quick succession followed TLCs for the whole of Goa, Puducherry and over 200 districts in West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, Haryana, Punjab and Assam. I would now like to share with you the operational strategy for TLC. First, the size of the unit of operation in a TLC. A village or a Gram Panchayat or a Panchayat Samiti or municipal corporation or municipality or notified area council or a district or even a state can be the unit of operation. What is more important in terms of coverage is this, that once the size of the unit has been decided, all unlettered adults of the area in a particular age group, either 5 to 60 or 9 to 35 or 15 to 35 or 9 to 45 will have to be covered and none can be left out except those who are totally infirm, invalid or suffer from learning disability. Availability of sufficient number of literate volunteers, availability of good well-meaning social action and voluntary service oriented individuals who will be willing to own the campaign, contribute to the campaign and participate in the campaign, a reasonably good infrastructure and logistic support such as communication and transport are absolutely essential for the success of a campaign approach to total literacy. Planning and preparation. For every district where a TLC has been sanctioned by the Executive Committee of the National Literacy Mission Authority, a district literacy society or Jilla Saksharata Samiti is required to be formed. The Samiti is headed by the collector and DM of the district. The Chief Executive Officer Jilla Parishad, District Adult Education Officer, officers connected with education, health, nutrition, immunization and sanitation and representatives of local non-governmental organizations on a selective basis are taken as members. A people's convention is held at the district, subdivision, block and panchayat level. At the convention, intensive consultation takes place among all concerned stakeholders, that is members of parliament, members of legislative assemblies, members of legislative councils wherever they exist, corporators, councillors, chairpersons of panchayat samitis, sarpanches and ward members of gram panchayats. The convention is utilized to explain to people the handicaps faced by them on account of illiteracy, the positive gains of functional literacy, the various stages and processes in a TLC how they can contribute to and participate in the TLC. Constitution of people's committees. Once a consensus is secured from all the stakeholders participating in the convention on the launching of a TLC in a particular selected area, people's committees at various levels, that is ward, village, gram panchayat, panchayat samiti and district, are required to be formed. The officers of the district facilitate the process of formation of these committees in a democratic manner while themselves remaining in the background. Constitution of subcommittees under the executive committee of Jilla Saksharata Samiti. Such subcommittees are activity related and are meant for the following activities: first, survey; second, environment building; third, construction of primers and teachers guide, their printing and distribution amongst the learning centers; fourth, procurement of teaching learning aids; fifth, teachers training; sixth, monitoring, supervision and coordination; and seventh, evaluation of learning outcome; and eighth, finance, accounts and day to day administration. Now, the survey is a one time activity, while environment building and training will have to be recurrent ones. That means they have to continue as long as the campaign for total literacy is on the ground. The committees are meant to be manned by 5 to 6 people full time on a voluntary basis with a spirit of timeliness, urgency and seriousness of concern, dedication and professionalism. Selection of full time coordinators. The coordinators are needed to coordinate various components of the TLC with a number of functionaries at the district, block, panchayat and village levels. Since the budget of the NLMA is tight, there is no scope for creation of posts either on a permanent or temporary basis. 8 to 10 coordinators are needed at the district level, 2 to 3 at the block level, 1 to 2 at the panchayat level and only 1 coordinator at the village level. The services of coordinators are taken on secondment basis from central, state and quasi governmental institutions and universities, independent and autonomous bodies, local self governing bodies and NGOs. They are selected on the strength of their character and integrity, organizational and professional competence and commitment to TLC, as also track record of their earlier performance. They continue after their selection and joining NLMA to draw their salary and allowances from their respective parent departments. They are required to report on all aspects of operationalization of TLC at the district, block, GP and village level as the case may be. Sort out problems and constraints on the ground and allow the operations under the TLC to proceed as smoothly and uninterruptedly and in a time bound manner. The reports from the coordinators are scrutinized at the respective higher level of coordination, and in case of deficiencies, corrections are issued to remove the bottlenecks and improve the quality of the operation. This is how the entire operation in a TLC becomes a two-way communication process which is both bottom up and up down. Pre-appraisal mission. Only such TLC proposals are considered by the executive committee of the NLMA which have been screened and recommended by a pre-appraisal mission. Such a mission comprises officers of the National Literacy Mission Authority, those of the state government concerned and those of Bharat Gyan Vigyan Samiti functionaries. They visit the prospective district in advance to see for themselves the following: adequacy of planning and preparation, whether a ground swell has been created which will be conducive to operationalization of the TLC. Such visits of the pre-appraisal mission may continue even after the TLC has been sanctioned, formally launched and has been set in motion on the ground. What are the guiding principles of a campaign for total literacy? First, collector or DM is the conceptualizer, principal planner, coordinator, mobilizer and executor of the TLC. At the same time, he is the first amongst equals, implying a lot of humility, respect for teamwork, team spirit and respect for histrionic talent and creativity of others. He has to ensure 100% enrollment, 100% retention of all adult unlettered learners, nil dropout and achievement of the desired levels of literacy and numeracy by all learners enrolled in the literacy learning centers. These norms have been laid down in the NLM document which was approved by the cabinet in 1987. He has to ensure that the TLC is a success by all counts. While survey of the area and households is primarily for identification, enumeration of the literate volunteers as also the potential learners, It can, if conducted as a festival, act as a powerful tool for social mobilization and environment building. The entire process of environment building and social mobilization is sequential or step by step, what is known in Hindi as charano se charan chale, and includes holding a workshop of creative thinkers, writers and artists. Second, design appropriate messages for dissemination through Kalajatha. Third, holding workshops for training of artists of Akshar Kalajatha, where they rehearse the skits, role plays, nukkad nataks designed for them and to be eventually staged by them. Holding performances on the stage to motivate the audience about the relevance of functional literacy in their day-to-day lives. Documentation of the performances and reaction of the audience to the performance. Improving the content further in view of the said reaction. The primary thrust in all environment building activities is to instill confidence amongst the potential learners that they can learn despite age and disability, that everything including opportunities in life are not lost forever and life can always be started afresh. Literacy is both a need as well as a matter of right. It is as important as the right of an average individual citizen to food, to water, to air, to light, to health, to strength and long life. Environment building efforts are to be carried on continuously till the TLC experiment has been brought to a logical close. The various folk forms of communication which can be harnessed for creating a positive environment for literacy are Harikatha and Burakatha in Andhra Pradesh, Jakhya Ganam in Karnataka, Kollatam in Tamil Nadu, Kathakali in Kerala, Pandavani in Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, Jatra and Opera in West Bengal, Odisha and Maharashtra, Pala and Daskathia in Odisha, Kathputli in Rajasthan. Training in TLC is primarily a tool for familiarization and sensitization. It equips the literacy volunteer teachers with the techniques of teaching in a participative and communicative mode and not in a rote method of learning. Teachers are not subjects nor are learners objects. This is an important statement made by Paulo Freire, the outstanding adult educator. They learn from each other through dialogue, discussion, observation, reflection, questioning and analysis. Training is relevant for pedagogy of teaching as also for imparting instruction on a host of development issues such as health, hygiene, immunization, nutrition, child care, maternity protection, environmental sanitation, which are of interest and relevance to the lives of all learners. Once the literacy volunteer teachers have been empowered through training, they would make the learners think, reflect, critically analyze and introspect. Who are we? Where from we have come? Why have we landed ourselves in this situation? What are the factors which have contributed to our plight and predicament? Can literacy provide a wherewithal of liberation from such plight and predicament? If so, why not become fully functionally literate? This is how training becomes a very important and effective tool of empowerment. Such training will have to be primer specific, cascading in character. That means the trainee of today becomes a trainer of tomorrow, participative, communicative and if necessary repetitive. Next, improved pace and content of learning. This is an innovative technique for primer construction in TLC which was conceptualized by then Education Secretary Anil Bodia, who unfortunately is no more. He passed away on 2nd September 2012. Its striking features are, in all there will be 3 multigraded and integrated primers. Every primer will have 12 lessons. Drills and exercises are to be provided at the end of every lesson in the primer. 3 tests are to be conducted at the end of every primer. 9 tests are to be conducted at the end of successful transaction of 3 primers. Self-evaluation of learning outcome is directed towards achievement of complete self-sufficiency in reading, writing and arithmetic on the successful completion of all the 3 primers. Time frame for a TLC is only 1 year. This is neither too long nor too short. This is to be equally divided between planning and preparation prior to launching of TLC, which will include survey, environment building, construction, publication, distribution of primers, primer specific training, which will take about 6 months. The second part, commencement of teaching and learning, monitoring the pace and progress of learning, evaluation of learning outcome, certification of total literacy declaration. This will take yet another 6 months, total 1 year. It is important to ensure the following during the second half. that learner motivation is continuously maintained, motivation of the volunteer teacher is also maintained. The patience of the volunteer teacher does not start waning in a situation where the teacher finds that despite all efforts on his part, there are poorly endowed learners who due to some learning disability are not able to catch up with others in the learning center. Pedagogy of adult teaching learning should be need based, interest related, joyous, exciting, interesting and enjoyable. It should mark a refreshing departure from the stereotypical, unexciting and uninteresting rote method of learning in which primers are ordinarily transacted. It should rest on the principle of progression, that is learning from stage to stage, keeping in view the diversity of the setting in which the learners have been placed. As the learner proceeds from one stage to another, discovers the joy and excitement of learning and acquires confidence that he or she can learn, it would boost his or her zest for further learning. Two-way communication between the instructor and the learner is absolutely essential. This heightens the motivation to learn. Heightened motivation will also be possible when the instructor makes the learners feel completely at home, totally non-intrusive or non-invasive environment, and the volunteer instructor does not overawe the learner, but treats him with civility and courtesy, with full respect for his age and experience, and uses words and mediums which are of interest and relevance to the day-to-day lives of the learners. Guided learning is gradually replaced by self-learning as the latter heightens motivation. Monitoring and evaluation are to be viewed as tools of correction and not witch hunting exercises. Monitoring is also to be viewed as a two-way communication process. Through the monitoring process, an emotive bond is forged between the sender and the receiver who may not be on the same wavelength. Ordinarily speaking, a two-way communication process operates in the following manner. Feedback is received at the district level on the problems and constraints, as also the progress and achievements in the ground level through coordinators at the block, GP and village level. This is to be followed by issue of correctives or guidelines from the district level. This is how continuous review and follow up of the quality standards, momentum of a TLC is maintained over a period of time and eventually brought to a logical close. Total literacy does not mean 100% literacy. It has not been possible anywhere in the world till date. Even in Ernakulam, India's first fully literate district, the overall rate of literacy which was achieved at the close of the TLC was 96.16% and not 100%. In the districts which followed suit, rate of total literacy achieved ranged between 80 to 90% of the learners reaching the desired levels and qualifying in the final test conducted for the purpose. Total literacy declaration conducted as a ceremony serves a few important purposes, such as numerous functionaries, that is members of people's committees, members of the subcommittees of the executive committee of Jilla Saksharata Samiti, resource persons, master trainers, volunteer teachers, learners, coordinators at the district, block and GP levels who have thought together, planned together and acted together for the TLC get together. It provides an outlet for their excitement and joy, happiness and satisfaction. It also provides an outlet for their excitement, happiness and satisfaction. It also provides a forum for according public recognition for the honest, sincere and selfless voluntary work done by them. I would now like to summarize what I have shared with you through part 1 of Total Literacy Campaign under National Literacy Mission. Literacy in this module has been described as a tool of learning, communication, information, participation, liberation, improvement and conscientization. These processes are all interlinked. History of literacy efforts have been traced from pre-independence era and national adult education program in post-independence era, proceeding to acceptance of total literacy campaign as the new national strategy in the latter half of 80s. Lessons from TLC experiment in Cuba, Nicaragua, Myanmar, Ethiopia and Vietnam have been acknowledged. Bharat Gyan Vigyan Jatha has been recognized as a unique activity to spread the message of literacy, to motivate both the literate and unlettered, and to inspire and motivate all sections of the civil society to own, contribute and participate in the TLC. TLC Ernakulam has been rightly described as the pathfinder, the trend and pace setter for the rest of the country. operational strategy and guideline and guiding principles of the TLC have been presented in detail. Thank you.